Hi guys, this is Sal Ferrara from the Electrical Training Center, and today we're going to do calculations on box fill, okay, which is very important. Box fill, one of the areas that are very, very important. So the first step is to understand how to use the box fill in Article 314. So 314.16 is actually what's called the number of conductors and outlet boxes and junction boxes and conduit bodies. Okay, but what happens is the general rule, and what it is 314.16b sets the rules, and there's 1 through 5 of the rules that you need to know. So I'm just going to go over them pretty quick, and also my students that are watching this. You could go to the Tom Henry book, and Tom Henry has a great chapter on this box fill calculations. So B1, and we're going to go through each one, and I'm just going to talk about 314.16b, what it says, so everybody can understand. It says in the code, box fill calculation. The volume in paragraph B1 through B5, as applicable, shall be added together. And then it says, no allowance shall be required for small fittings such as lock nuts and bushings. Okay, so if you have an MC connector with a lock nut or Romex connector, that doesn't count. The connector, because it has a lock nut, doesn't count as an allowance for it. So basically, B1 talks about conductors. Okay, the conductor. B1, 314.16b1, and a conductor is a single conductor. Okay, when you have a single conductor, it'll count as one conductor. Okay, so an example, if this is a number 12 wire, you would count it as one conductor. If there's 2 of them in a box, here's a box, and you got 2 conductors here, 2 conductors here, that's a total of 4 conductors. Okay, 4 conductors. Even if you splice them, okay? If you have a loop, so I come in with a piece of conduit and a piece of conduit, and I go through and I loop it. These count as 2 conductors. Okay? So basically that's what it is. I'm just going to read it. Each conductor that originates outside the box or is spliced within the box shall count as 1. Each conductor that passes through the box without a splice or turn should count as 1. Okay? So if I go through a box, here they're spliced through, they're spliced. But if I go through a box, here's a piece of conduit, and I just go through like this, then this is 1 and this is 1. So I have 2 conductors. Here I got 4 conductors, here I got 2 conductors, okay, when you have a loop. So that's B1. Everybody understand that? B2, talks about clamp fill. Clamp fill. Okay? So if I have a box and I have an internal clamp, okay, like say a gem box, and I have internal clamps here. Okay, internal clamps with a screw, and it's holding the cable assembly together, okay, like an MC or something like that, or an AC cable, or a non-metallic cable like Romex. What you're going to be doing is when it goes through here and you got your 2 conductors coming through, the clamp, only once do you count the clamp, only one allowance, only one, based on the largest conductors. So say here, I got a clamp here, and I got a clamp here, and I got a number 14 going to here, and I got a number 12 going to this clamp, and here I got a regular connector with a number 14, okay, with an MC cable, with a lock nut on this one. But these are clamps. Well, I have 2 14s, but who cares? It's based on the largest conductor. So you would allow 1 allowance based on the largest conductor, which is a number 12. Okay, and we're going to talk about what these numbers represent. So that's the clamp. Okay. Number 3, B3 talks about fittings. Fittings, okay? So an example is if I have a ceiling box or a mud box or something like that, and say I have fittings in here, okay? Say I have one fitting like this, and I have another fitting that goes like this. Each fitting will count as one conductor based on the largest conductor in that box. Okay, so say I have a 4-inch round box with a stud fitting. Okay, when I screw it onto the canopy and everything, and I come down, each type of fitting will count as one. So that's a hickey, a stud, any type of fitting that goes inside the box will count as one. Then a device. The device, again, is a receptacle or switch. So let's say I have a 2-gang box, and I got a switch, and over here I got a receptacle. Each device, there's a 2-gang box, okay? Each device that's connected on its own yoke will count as, this is called a yoke, this is your yoke, and there's a single gang switch here. Okay, but I have two devices. Each device will count as two. Double allowance. And also, it'll be based on, and that's it for now, okay? So for the boxes, so here I got a receptacle and say a number 14 connected to this, and a number 14 connected to this. We will then figure out what the number 14 is, which I'll tell you what it is right now, so I don't hold any surprises. If we go to 314.16b, and I'm going to show it to you, there's an allowance required per conductor. So number 14, you allow 2.0, and number 12, you allow 2.25. So that's what we're going to allow right now. So I'll just give you an example of this one. A 14 is equal to 2.0, and number 12 is equal to 2.25, and the number 10, doesn't matter, solid stranded, 2.50, doesn't matter. So in here, if I have two of these, you would go for the receptacle, 2, because I only have one, times 2.00, which equals 4.00. And let's say this was a 12, a number 12 wire connected to this. Okay? This is just for the device. One switch, which is a number 12 wire, and this is a number 4, I'm sorry. This is a number 12, and this was a number 14. It'll be double the volume times 2.25, which is 4.50. Okay? So just FYI. And that's how you do that. The last thing is, and that's number 4. Number 5 is your equipment ground. So let's say I have a receptacle. Here's a 2-gang box. I have 2 receptacles in my 2-gang box, and this is connected to a number 14 Romex 14-2 Romex, or non-metallic NM, and this is a number 12 2 Romex, with a ground, of course, NM, okay, or Romex, whatever you want to call it, okay? The equipment ground is based on the largest device in that box, and it counts as one allowance. One allowance. So here, the number 12 wire would be 1 times 2.25, because that's the largest one, which equals 2.25. So that's how your allowance for that. Okay? So a lot of times you'll see in a box, a plastic box, it'll be already give you how many conductors. But again, the conductors will take in consideration your receptacle, which counts as 2 per device, your equipment ground that counts as 1, and any other type of clamps inside and everything if you have a plastic box, okay? So I just wanted to let you know that. It's very important to understand. It ain't just conductors, physical conductors, okay, when we do the box fill calculation. So let's do the actual calculation that we're looking for, okay? And basically what we have in this one is step 1. Well, we did that. We're going to go to step 2, which I explained everything. Step 2, we're going to set up the problem. And what's given is this. What's given is 2 pieces of a 14-2 Romex with ground. Okay? 1 piece of a 12-2 Romex with ground. And we also have a cable clamp. Cable, I spelled cable clamp wrong. Cable clamp. It's a metal box. Metal box. So how do we do this? How do we do this? So step 3, we do the problem. Solve. So what we're going to do is we have 2. This is how I do it, which I think is pretty easy. 2 14-2 Romexes, right? So all you do is go like this. 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is equal to 4. And for a Romex, right, it's 2.0, right? Based on 314.16b, the table. Times 2.00, which equals 8.00. Okay? Then we have a 12-2, 1, 12-2 Romex. So we go 1 times 2 is 2, right? Times 2.25 for a 12 wire, based on this table, which equals 4.50. Then, don't we have an equipment ground? We have an equipment ground, and it's based on the largest one, which is the 12, which is the 12-2. Even though it's not connected to anything, we're going to do that. Okay? So we're going to take 1 grounding conductor, and we're going to base it on 1 times 2.25, which is that 2.25, and then we have the clamp. Okay, and this is based on 314.16b5. This is 314.16b1, and then we have 314.16b2, which is your clamp. You got 1 clamp. You got as many clamps as you could have, as many clamps as you want. You only count it once. Okay, very important. So it's 1 times 2.25, the largest conductor, 2.25, and if we add this up, we're going to come out with 17.0 cubic inches. And that's your answer. That's how you do a box fill calculation. Okay? And again, you could click below to subscribe if you like what you see. Have a great day.